Hi, I'm Mary Felling. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be focusing on 4 strengthening exercises. A little different than what I usually do. I usually am doing myofascial release techniques, but this particular video is for the senior population. I found in my practice that there were 4 basic areas where there was strength lost and therefore function lost in the seniors, and that was at the abs, the low back, hips, and knees. So these 4 exercises are going to focus on that today and help you to be really strong and stable out there no matter what you're doing. All right, if you've already got a mat down or you've got your surface ready to go, continue to watch. If not, and by the way, you can do this on a bed or you can do this on a couch. You don't have to be on the floor. Pause the video if you need a moment to get your exercise mat or get yourself situated, and then come on back with me. All right, for those of you still following along, go ahead. Very slowly get yourself down onto your back and your knees bent. And for a lot of you, if you have back pain, get down on your side first, and then like a log, use your shoulders, hips, and knees, and roll like a log onto your back. That'll help reduce any pain in your back. So this first 2 exercises are for the core. So we're going to do something called the pelvic tilt. And a pelvic tilt is just flattening the low back down against the floor or your mat or your bed. And you do that by tucking your rear end under. And so I'm going to tuck my rear end under, and I could feel my low back flattening against my mat. So I know I've done that. Now, for those of you, if you're practicing this right now and you don't feel like you're getting it, you can take a hand towel or a washcloth, roll it up, slide it under your low back, and that'll give you a tactile cue. So as you're tilting back and you're flattening your low back, you'll feel that, and it'll let you know you're doing it correctly. So these are pelvic tilts. We're going to do 10 in a row, and we're going to do 2 sets of 10. We're going to hold them for about 5 seconds. That's the strengthening part. Your hands can be across your belly, your chest, or down next to you, wherever you're comfy. So tightening your whole abdominals all the way to the top of your pubis. Tighten your abdominals, tuck your rear end under, hold this position. You keep breathing during this. We're just doing 5 seconds. And at the end of 5 seconds, slowly roll back out. Take a nice breath or 2. And roll back. Tighten your tummy, flatten your low back, tuck your rear end under. So you might even feel your glutes working a little. If you're lifting up off the mat or the surface you're working on, you're using too much glute. Really focus on tightening the tummy. And then come back out. So these are just short holds. They're like 5-second holds. Eventually you'll be working up to 10-second holds and just a few seconds off. Roll back. If you're still practicing and you haven't quite got it, pause this video until you've got your pelvic tilt down and come on back in and join us. And slow, relax down. So I'm not just dropping out. I'm really doing a quality control there on my way back. Come back in. Really tight all the way down here. Almost if someone is going to punch you, you know how you would tighten against that. Hopefully you've never had somebody to punch you in your belly. And slowly come out. So all the work is controlled. All the movement is controlled. We're going to go back in. I think this is number 5 or 6. I haven't counted, so we might be doing 11. That's all right. Get a little extra exercise in. And slow out. Count of 5 seconds. You can have a timer next to you if you have a device that allows you to put a timer on. Come back in. You only take about 2 or 3 seconds between repetitions, not too long of a break. Hold nice and tight, really hard, even harder. That's it. Hold that tightness in your abdominal area. Slowly lower out. Let's do 3 more. Come back. Hold nice and tight. Slow lower. Come back. Tighten here all the way down to the lower abdominals, these transverse abdominals. And all the way up to here, just underneath your rib cage. All of that should be nice and tight. Lower, how about 2 more? tilt up, slow lower. Last one. Roll up, really get your low back flat. You can even just put your hands under there to make sure you can't get your hands in. Then you know you've got your back flat against the floor or the bed or couch, whatever you're working on. And slow lower. So that was a set of 10. It might have been a set of 8 or 12. I'm sorry, I didn't quite count all of them, but I'll be on top of it this next round. You take about 30 seconds. So it's not a long break between each set of 10. But it's enough for some muscle recovery. If you feel you have to shake out your hips or you feel like your shoulders are not quite right, take a moment, get yourself in a really comfy position. Maybe you need a little pillow under your head. Always get yourself comfortable. Feet are a little bit apart. They're not right together. That makes you work a little harder. We'll talk about increasing the challenge of this. But right now you want them hips apart or hip width and wider apart. All right, let's do that next set of 10. Here we go. Tighten your core, tuck your rear end under, and that's pushing your low back flat onto the surface. And slowly out. These are 5 seconds. Holds. And roll back up. And hold. And slow lower back out. Roll right back in. All right, is this 3? This might be 4. I'm going to call it 3. And slow out. We'll call this next one 4. Here we are in number 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow lower out. Come back in. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow lower out. That was number 5. Here's number 6. Come back and hold. Roll slowly out. Here's 7. Hold. Slow out. Number 8 coming up. Here we go. Hold there. Really tight, really firm. Lower 2 more. We're rolling back for number 9. And last one, number 10, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and slow lower, controlled. We're going to take about 30 seconds. You're going to stay in this position for the next exercise. And the next one, we're going to use both the abs and the glutes together. You do kind of use your glutes anyway on the pelvic tilt, but you're really going to use your glutes on this one, and you'll see. Let's give ourselves a few more seconds here. Get the good blood flow in the area, oxygenated blood, get those muscles ready to do their job. So watch me on this first one, and then we'll do the next one together. So this next exercise is a pelvic tilt. You hold and lift your fanny off the surface. You're kind of looking for a straight line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders, and then roll back down, starting from the top part of your back to your lower back, and then your rear end is the last thing to touch. All right, so you may not get very high up on your first one. Don't worry about it. As long as you've lifted your rear end and cleared the floor or the table or whatever you're lying on, you're using your glutes. So here we go. Pelvic tilt and immediately lift. Here's where we hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow lower. I'm letting my upper back, middle back, low back, hips, and now my rear end touch. So it's a very slow positioning back down. We're trying to get those glutes going. Here we go. Number 2, pelvic tilt, lift. As soon as we got that tilt, 2, 3, 4, 5, Come on down. Nice and controlled. When you get up, use those glutes. After you get your pelvic tilt and you're lifted this way, you really squeeze. Squeeze tight as you can while you're breathing. You're breathing through all of this. Come on down. I think that was 3. We're going right back up for 4. Here's our pelvic tilt. Holding your abs, adding your glutes. They're working together to keep you in this bridge position. Slowly come down. Last thing to hit is your hips and your rear end. You come out of it. Take a breath or 2 or 3 seconds, and back we go. Pelvic tilt. Squeeze those glutes nice and tight. Hold here for a few seconds, and then slow lower yourself. I'm going to call that 5. Even if it was 4, make sure you do an extra one at the end of this. Pelvic tilt again. This is number 6. Squeeze those glutes. Keep yourself tight here too. You've got to think of both areas. There's a little mental work here too. That's good. Can all use a little more mental agility in our life, right? Few seconds break. Here we go to 7. Pelvic tilt, so I'm really tight here, and as I lift, and then I add tightness here. Still tight in the abs, adding the glutes that are squeezed. Really getting a lot of cross fiber action in there. That's where we strengthen. We're holding it. Slowly lower. Let your hips come down. Beautiful. Here comes 8, right? Is that 7? So tilt back. Squeeze. Lift. Really squeeze it. One last squeeze. Come on down. Here's 9. Lift, squeeze. You've got your abs going too. Remember, don't forget about those. Slow lower down. Last one. Come up, squeeze, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow lower. We're going to take about a 15-30 second break, and we'll do another set of 10. You already feel yourself kind of working. If your low back hurts, then what I'd like you to try first on this next set of 10 is don't go up as high. Stay low. Just kind of squeeze your rear end just enough to lift you off the floor, and that's it. But if you're lifting off from the floor and your back still hurts, then only continue with pelvic tilts. And do that for about 2 weeks before you add your bridge. Okay. So, we ready for that next set of 10? All right, everybody's got their feet adjusted. Maybe you need a little wider for support. Maybe you want to challenge yourself and get your feet closer together. You can. I like to keep mine a little bit wider than my hips. So, pelvic tilt, lift, 2, 3, and you're just squeezing the buttock. Don't squeeze your back. You might be hurting in your back after a while if you keep squeezing your back. The back's trying not to do too much work. And again, pelvic tilt, tighten here, squeeze those glutes, lift, 2, 4, 5, and slow lower down. And relax everything. Let go of the abs, let go of your glutes. And we engage the abs, now we engage the glutes, 2, 3, 4, 5, slow lower down. From low back to hip to rear end. Let go, unengage. Engage in the stomach. Add those glutes nice and tight. And come back down. So you can see it's not a big, huge range of motion that we're going through. It's just a little change in positions. We go through a pelvic tilt, and then we lift the hips. So don't, try and push your hips up above the level of your chest or your head. It's not necessary at this point. Abdominals again, squeeze. You've got both working now. Let's do 4 more. Three more. Really good, everyone. Really, really good. Two more. Tighten, tighten. Last one. Okay, very nice. All right, let's take a few seconds. Just bring your legs in. Might do a little bit of marching because you just did a lot of squeezing and work, and your legs, your hips might be going, oh, I'm not used to that. So for those of you who felt, well, I just couldn't do 2 sets of 10, that's fine. Just start at 1 set of 10. You might need to start at 1 set of 5. Everybody's different, and so you start at different places. You just start where you can do the exercises, and at the end of the exercises, you don't feel sore in other places except where you worked. That's exercise soreness. But if you're feeling sore up in your neck or your low back, probably you need a pillow, or if we're using a pillow, take the pillow out. You need to kind of think about using less of your back and just abs and glutes when you're doing that, so that you don't use your back. All right, so for the next exercise, we're going to turn on our side. And we're working in an area, if you've got a pillow, use your pillow. We're working in an area called the gluteus medius. This is so important for stable walking. If you're kind of not steady on your feet and you feel funny in your ankles might be being funny because you're not getting a solid step from the hip. You're not getting a solid, stable positioning for the hip to bear the weight of the body through to the leg. So this is really a good exercise. This is one that all the seniors I've worked with, we have to use it, or we have to do it because it keeps you stable and it keeps you safe when you're out walking around. So you want to lie down so that the bottom of your feet are on the same line with your buttock, back, and your head. So if I put, and you can, a nice way to do this is just lie on the floor next to a couch and make sure your feet and your back are touching the couch with bent knees. You'll be in a perfect alignment. It's called the clamshell. I'm going to show you this first, then we'll do it together. You're tightening here, and you're just lifting your knee up to the ceiling and down. Nothing moves in the trunk. So I'm going to show you what it looks like for people who, I'm just going to show you a different position. So if you're doing this and you start to roll back, stop. Make sure, put your hand on your hip and keep that hip forward so just the knee moves. Do you see that difference? This is no. Nope. This is correct. Okay, so it's just the leg. If you find yourself working up in here, just give yourself a little tactile cue with your hand. All right, so we're going to do 2 sets of 10 when you're ready, and you're just tightening through here. You can't do it wrong. You can't tighten in your tummy and make your leg go up. It has to use the glute medius for this to work. So I'm just going to kind of rest my hand here, lift it up, and slow lower. There's your work right there. Completely relax it and come back up. We're going to do 2 sets of 10. Here's number 2. If you get a spasm, straighten your legs out. Come back to this position and bend your knees a little bit less. And then don't go up as high. If you still get a spasm, just maybe come up to about this high and come back down. All right, here's 4. If you say, well, I can't get up that high, that's okay. Just go as high as you can without spasming. So some people might be starting here because when they get up here, they feel a tight or a spasm coming on. That's okay. Start here, and after a week or 2, you'll be able to keep going higher and higher. Where are we? Is this 5 or 6? We'll call that 6. Completely let go, relax. Then engage it again, nice and high. Let's do 3 more. Let's do 1 more. All right, let's take a 15-30-second break. All right, for those of you who are spasming, just do maybe 2 inches up and down for today and probably the next 4 or 5 days. Then after that, see if you can go to about a 3 or 4 inch opening between your knees. If you're still spasming, then you just go back to that 1 or 2 inch opening. You just start where you can. You'll get stronger. You'll be able to do it. Don't worry. And when we're done with this side, by the way, we're going to go over and we're going to do the other side. So here we go. Relax as you get down, when you come down. As you come down, completely let go. Here's number 4. This is number 6. Three more. Starting to feel that burn a little bit. You might have started feeling the burn by the second one. 2 more. And last one. Good. All right, so go ahead and sit up. And you're going to switch sides. And go right into the other side. And again, soles of the feet line up. Your knees are bent. The soles of the feet line up with your back, the back of your head. It's all one line. So I'm not up like this. I'm back here, and my knees aren't bent like that. They're kind of opened a little bit. All right, everybody ready? Here we go. And so this is just a nice controlled position. You can see I'm kind of even shaking a little on the way down. You can use your hand to stabilize you if you want. Check to make sure you're not doing that kind of a thing. Make sure that the hip is solid and steady and just your leg is moving. We'll call that 5. Two more. Last one. Take a break. Boy, I must have done about 15 on the very first one. We were on the other side. All right, ready? Really completely let go. Let the muscle relax. You're working right through here. How about 3 more? And we'll call that a rest. Good. Okay, so get ready. We're going to be sliding against a wall for the next exercise to help some of the important muscles on the inside of the thigh and the inside of the quads. This next exercise is for the quadricep muscles, the very inside, the vastus medialis oblique, or just simply called the VMO. You'll need 3 things. One is a ball about this size, 6 to 8 inches wide, so a volleyball works just great, soccer ball, a kid's pool ball, something like this. If you absolutely don't have anything or can't find something like this, use a very firm pillow, whether it's from your couch or your bed, folded in half. The other thing you're going to need is another pillow, and it's just a smaller one. Don't use your pillow from your bed. Use a small decorative pillow that you have on a couch, because this is going to go behind your back. And the third thing you're going to need is a wall, a very clear wall. So if you don't have these things yet, go ahead and pause the video and come on back and join us. For those of you who are ready to continue, here we go. So you're going to put your pillow behind you. It's going to go from about your waistline down to your buttock. Mine kind of goes up a little higher. It's right at the chest line and down. And you want to walk your feet out so the back of your heels is about a foot from the baseboard. If you have longer legs, if you're taller than 5'5", 5'6", you probably need to walk out another inch or 2. And if you're over 6 feet, you probably need to be about 15 inches away from the baseboard. So I'm going to demonstrate this technique, and then we'll do it together. You're going to take your ball. It's going to go between your knees. You want to keep your feet together as close as possible. And you start with your legs straight. Squeeze the ball and you slowly lower. The pillow helps you to slide elegantly down the wall, and you just go far enough so that the tips of your toes are still showing. If you don't see your toes, you've gone down too far. Then you squeeze as you come back up. So 2 things are happening. I'm squeezing the ball as I lower my body weight, and I'm still squeezing the ball on the way up. All right, you might feel some clicks and pops as you do this. It's just because your knees probably and your hips probably haven't been in this position for a while. So let's do a set of 10. Get your feet together. Start out with a straight legs. Squeeze that ball and then slowly go down. We count to the count of 5. I'm just now not seeing my toes, so I'm going to come back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And take a short break. Squeeze again. Lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. And back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a short break. Here's number 3. Here we go. Short break, squeeze again. You got the idea. Squeeze again. I'm going to call this number 5 here. Always make sure you can see the end of your toe. Toes might be inside a little bit. If you've got a lot of pressure on your knees that's still pushing your knees out past where your toes are, that's okay. 6. And you'll start feeling the inside of your upper thighs work too. Short break, squeeze again. Short break. The count is 5. It's not a true 5 seconds. It's just kind of a slow count 5 down and a slow count 5 up. Just so you're not buzzing through it. Call this 8. There's that short break. One last one. Nice squeeze. Slow lower. And come back up. Okay. Take the ball out. Come back to stand. Move your legs around. We're going to do a second set of 10. You felt that? If that was a lot for you and you just can't do that, Move your feet back a little closer to the wall so you're not bending down as much, and do it for a shorter period of time. Just do it for 2 or 3 seconds down and up. And then you can increase your how far your feet are out. You can increase the time up to 5 seconds down, or 5 reps, 5 counts down and back. So start where you can do it comfortably. All right, I'm going to get my feet out there again. Here we go. Ready for your second set. I'll put my pillow up a little higher. All right, so squeeze, slow lower. Short break, squeeze. That's 2. I'm starting to feel it. I can even feel my muscle quiver. It's a sign I need this. So if you're quivering a lot, you're doing exactly what your body needs. This is the muscle that just, we stop using it the older we get. I think even by your time you're in your late 30s and 40s, it's probably a muscle that has already lost its maximal strength. So it's good for all ages, really. We'll call that number 5. I'm squeezing. 3 more. And you'll feel the rest of your muscles working too. They're not just silent doing nothing. They're working too, but we're really emphasizing with the squeezed leg. It really biases the quadriceps to use just their inside muscle. 2 more. You can tell I'm squeezing and shaking a little bit. I'm going to take that break. Last one. And you're breathing all the way. You never hold your breath. You're always breathing through each of these repetitions. Okay, very nice. Very good. So you want to continue those exercises over the next 14 days daily, and then you can drop back to 3 times a week. If you find daily is just making you sore, then just do them every other day for 2 weeks, and then continue them for another good 2 to 3 weeks every other day. All right, thank you for joining me in this class of strengthening the core places that our aging body needs, and I will see you on our next video.